Well, congratulations. You made great music, you ran an effective ad campaign, you implemented a retargeting strategy, and you ended up with that highest of high value goals, the email address. But now what? You have this email address, but what do you do with it? Email is this huge unlock for independent artists to help you grow a business. But a lot of questions come along with it, like, what do I talk about? How do I sell stuff? Am I bothering people? Well, in this video, we're gonna dig into this topic and we're gonna explore the top 3 things that we should use email for as independent artists. And we're even gonna talk about some of the things that maybe we shouldn't do. So right away, the lowest hanging fruit for email for independent artists to market your music is notifications. Email is a great way to go directly to your hardest hardcore fans and tell them about new stuff. When people follow us on social media, they are tapping into what we're doing. They want to pay attention and see some more from us. But when they subscribe via email, they've decided they don't want to miss out. And they're kind of hoping, to be honest, for some exclusivity here, for some stuff to learn about before anybody else does. So the first thing to do is to deliver on that promise. Give them new music before you share it with anybody else. Give them exclusive merchandise, exclusive discounts to merchandise, exclusive ticket sales for events, for shows and tours. Bring stuff to the table first for your email subscribers because they have shown you their loyalty. So repay that loyalty a little bit in return. So now that we've gotten the first obvious point out of the way, let's talk about the meat of your email marketing strategy. And that is what to talk about. I come at this from a position of how to add value. Think about your subscriber base. Now, this is going to be different for every artist and every genre. I can't sit here and give you a list of stuff to say, do this and it will work. The type of music you make is different from what I make, is different from what he makes, from what she makes, and so on and so forth. So what I would say is come at this from a point of how can I enrich the lives of others through this email newsletter. So take stock of your audience and your subscribers. Why did they subscribe? What do they value? And a big one, what do they have in common? If you can think about the commonalities of your subscriber base and your fans, then you can deliver stuff that will hit the most amount of people all at once. Now, if you're running a business like I am, delivering value is pretty easy. I just talk about what interests me or share a bit of knowledge about a topic, and that adds value to the lives of my subscribers because they're getting something exclusive from me that they don't get anywhere else, or at least a different version of it that's maybe more in depth than they would get on, say, social media or here on YouTube. But for music, we can think about stuff like unreleased material, B-sides and rarities that will never go out. You can do stuff like share your creative process, share the story behind a song, the circumstances surrounding your life when you wrote it, why you wrote it, what it's about. As an artist, try to avoid talking about music from a technical perspective and sharing your process with other artists, but think about it from an emotional perspective and what the music is about. That's the stuff that people connect with. Learn how to tell stories about the stories of your songs, and that will resonate more deeply with your audience. All right, so now we can't talk about marketing without talking about selling. Email is the place to sell stuff. It is not a warm audience. It is a hot audience. These are people who are really, really all about what you're doing. If they have given you their email address, they're on board, which means this is a prime place to actually sell stuff and monetize what you love to do. But there's a right way and a wrong way to go about this. Now, the right way, if done correctly, can really work to your benefit on an ongoing basis. And it's what I like to refer to as passively selling. Now, if active selling is pushing, buy, passive selling is positioning an offer in your email content, probably close to the bottom, that just gives an option to buy. So let's say you send out an email where you talk about the story behind a song, how you wrote it, what it's about. The bottom of that email might be a link to just listen to that song on Spotify. It might be a link to a piece of merch featuring the lyrics or the artwork or something like that of that song. Or it might be a link to buy a physical copy or the album where that song is available. And by positioning at the bottom as a passive sell, you're not being salesy or sleazy or overbearing. You're just presenting an option. This is here, just a reminder, just want you to know this is here if you want it. If they don't want it, that's totally cool. But you'd be surprised how many people actually do want it once you've given them a reason to care. So we've covered the big 3 use cases for email marketing for independent artists. Now let's talk about what not to do. So first of all, somebody sharing their email address with you, with me, with us, That's a huge deal. That's like giving somebody the key to your house on the internet. So you have to treat this with the utmost care. You can't abuse that trust. Now, the first and fastest way to abuse somebody's trust who's given you their email address is to send out too many emails. If you send out an email every single day and you just spam their inbox, people are going to get fed up quickly. I certainly know I do. If I subscribe to somebody and they send me 25 onboarding emails, I'm out, dude. I can take maybe 1 or 2 just sort of to get my bearings about like what have I subscribed to, but anything more than that and I'm done. And my guess is I'm not the only one. The next thing is don't oversell. So the passive sale thing, it works for a reason. If people are sold to over and over again, it becomes spammy and annoying and they will unsubscribe. Keep to a passive sale thing most of the time. Now, obviously there are times when an active sales tactic is necessary or even beneficial. Like if you just announced tour dates and you want to make sure that your crew of insiders gets first dibs on tickets, you definitely want to send that out to them first. And you want to tell them, hey, buy these now because it will fill up. Or if you have announced some sort of like limited edition merch drop and you want to make sure your inside crew knows about it before you send it out to the masses via social media, you want to make sure that they're able to get the pickups that they want before they're all gone, right? It's kind of like you're doing an active sale and actually like a sales email, but at the same time, you're also just cluing them into something that they want already and making sure that they don't miss out. Kind of goes back to point number 1 about just using it as a notification base. So you can kind of view that as not really like selling, but just notifying. And then the third thing is just don't be all over the place. There should be a clear set of expectations for your sign up form when somebody subscribes to your email list. Something like, subscribe for updates, new music, behind the scenes, photos and footage, stuff like that. If that's the expectation around what you're going to deliver via email and it's all centered around your music, then don't send out your favorite mac and cheese recipe. Unless, of course, you're an artist who is like sort of skill stacking being a chef with making music, in which case, go nuts. Everybody loves mac and cheese. But if you are not doing something like that, try to stick to the core of what it is you've chosen to talk about, which, realistically for all of us is going to be talking about our music and sharing stuff that surrounds that. Now, on the other side of that, don't be afraid to evolve and adjust. I mean, my newsletter has certainly evolved and adjusted over time, but the same core mission remains the same, which is talking about being an independent artist and succeeding at that craft. Whatever it is, find the common thread, stick to that, take chances, but really, most importantly, more important than anything, just be you. Deliver on your promises to your subscribers for when they signed up, and be authentic. Share authentically what interests you and what will interest your audience. If you can find that overlap, you will have a winning music marketing strategy via email. Now, if you enjoyed this video and you want to go deeper with topics just like this every week, then I hope you'll subscribe to my newsletter, which is called The One Thing. Every single week, I send out one thing that I am either testing or trying myself to succeed as an independent artist. So if you want to sign up for that, I'll leave a link to do that in the description of this video. And as always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.